We're heading out
to the Celebrity Flora
in the Galapagos Islands.
Let's do it.
Well, welcome back to the channel. I'm Terry with Next Wave Cruising.
I'm Rich with Next Wave Cruising.
And we are going to take you further into our tour of the Galapagos Islands on the Celebrity Flora. And today we're going to cover two things. Really briefly, we're going to talk about our transition from the land portion of our tour pre-cruise in Quito out to the Celebrity Flora. And then stay tuned, because really the heart of this video is our tour of the Celebrity Flora, and it is just a beautiful ship.
What a ship, and what a way to get onto the ship.
Right, so stay tuned, because here we go. Now, first thing is that we are leaving the JW Marriott in Quito with our travel group and escorted by Celebrity Cruise personnel and staff all the way.
Right.
They made the transition from the land portion of our tour to the cruise as easy as it could possibly be. And there are some things that people ask about that I think we can give a little advice on. One is realize that the night before you leave the hotel, you're going to actually pack your checked bag and take it downstairs, and it will be unlocked. You'll keep your locks, and it's going to undergo an environmental agricultural assessment before it is placed on the plane to go out to the Galapagos.
Right.
They're really careful.
And the nice thing about this is that normally, under regular circumstances, this would all be done at the airport. But the way Celebrity has done it and really made it very easy for the Celebrity passengers is they brought one of the inspectors in from the airport to our hotel, and he inspected all of the bags for us, so that when we got to the airport, there was nothing else to do. The bags were loaded onto the plane, and we were set to go.
So be aware that when you turn that suitcase in, the checked bag only, the night before, it will be inspected. Tie wraps will be put on it so that it's shown it's both inspected and sealed. You will not see it again until you get on the ship.
Thank
and
goodness.
So you are going to take anything you need, medicines, personal documents, or the right change of clothes with you in your carry-on bag, because that checked bag is out of your hands and out of sight from the night before. So just be aware.
Including your toiletries. You don't have to leave them in the checked bag. They can go on your carry-on.
That's right. It's a domestic flight in Ecuador, and they don't have those liquid ounce restrictions that we have on domestic flights here. People are concerned about that, but they don't need to be. Now, the other thing that Celebrity made absolutely flawless was that they had our boarding passes for us at the hotel, information about our transfers. They put us on a bus, took us to the airport. There was no check-in line, and we went directly through security to our boarding gate. And when we got on the charter flight, which was only the passengers who were going to be on our sailing, we were accompanied by a Celebrity staff member, even on that charter flight.
Any questions, any issues, whatever, there's somebody right there to take care of you.
And then in a quick hour and a half or so, we were landing in Baltra, which is out in the Galapagos Islands. It's a small airport. They took us into a VIP entry area, and everything was very comfortable, a place to get a little bit of a refreshment. And then we were on a very short shuttle ride out to the Zodiacs. And the Zodiacs are really going to become our best friends for the entire trip here, because everything you do to access the shore and to access your ship is done via the Zodiacs.
The ship, the Flora, does not dock anywheres. Everything is done on the Zodiacs.
Which is great. And so we got our first taste of that right from the edge of the Baltra Island as we made our first approach to this beautiful, beautiful ship. And it only took a few minutes, but it was a great way to get over there. Very easy on and off. These are very upscale and very nice Zodiacs that have nice railings for you and steps, and always there are both the drivers and the naturalists there to help you make sure that you're steady and kind of sure of yourself as you get used to getting on the Zodiacs. By the end of the week, everybody's a pro.
Oh yeah, we're all good at it.
That's great. Now, once we got to the ship, there was a lot to do and a lot to see. So that's really where we'll focus for the rest of today's video. And as we get on the ship, one of the first things that you'll get to do is pull up to the marina at the back of the ship and enjoy a really, really warm welcome from everybody who's on board, from the captain to the hotel director, the cruise director, and all the staff. They
all the naturalists are there waiting to greet you. It's really a lot of fun.
And they really help you up onto the ship, and you'll see that you're coming back to that marina area at the back of the ship on deck 3. again that afternoon, because you're going to, it almost feels like going shopping,
Right.
you're going to go and select all the equipment that you're going to use throughout the cruise
Right.
that first afternoon. So you can figure out by size what fins you need for snorkeling, what kind of wetsuit size you might need,
Right.
and the masks and the everything about the snorkel gear, where to hang up
Right.
your personalized materials, a bag to put everything in that will stay out there and drip dry every
Right.
day. So you don't have to worry about bringing wet clothes and equipment into your stateroom. It keeps the rest of the ship absolutely pristine, beautiful, and very luxurious, because there's room for everything out on the marina.
Plus the great thing about this is that when they say, well, we can go snorkeling this morning, you grab the snorkeling bag, because everything you've already picked out, everything. You don't have to waste time trying to figure out which one's mine. You grab the snorkeling bag, you go and you start putting on all your stuff, and you're ready to go.
You're ready to bring it out to a Zodiac and head out to the island, or to do something right off the side of the Zodiac, if that's
Right.
the case. Now, there are a lot of questions about these wetsuits on the Celebrity Flora or any of the Celebrity ships out in the Galapagos. People who are very small or people who are larger sizes are concerned whether or not there's going to be equipment and suits that fit them.
They got them.
They've
They've
got
got dozens and dozens of wetsuits and flippers and everything. They're going to have your size.
Which I think was a real relief to people, because they were comfortable. They weren't squeezing into something that was meant for somebody else.
Right.
And again, it is tagged as yours and marked with your stateroom for the entire cruise. So you don't have to worry that I found something good and now it's gone.
Right.
You have it. And so once you get that done, you really get to go upstairs to deck 7 and start to enjoy the ship.
Right.
And when we went up on deck 7, it was time for lunch.
Yep.
How did you like the ocean grill?
That was an excellent lunch up on deck 7,
Open
outdoors,
air.
open air. It was really nice. What a great lunch that they had up there, and your first exposure to what your whole cruise is going to be like.
Now, there were a couple things there at lunch that you probably enjoyed the first day.
Right. Well, yeah, they had the onion rings the first day.
I remember
and
that.
I thought, oh, this is going to be great, and but I don't want to overload myself today, but I should have, because I didn't see him again for the rest of the cruise.
So they had some special treats day 1. Don't miss
Right.
the lunch.
Right.
But it is in the open air. And as you look around on deck 7, you'll see that not only is there seating at the ocean grill, but on the sides of the ship, there are varieties of comfortable seating areas, lounging spots. And then as you get behind the indoor section, which is the entry to the stairs and the elevator, and you come to the back, there is additional seating. There is a glamping area. So as an option, one of the few things that could be an optional add-on to your cruise, you could decide to camp out under the stars for a night in this glamping environment that's provided up on the top, on the aft part of deck 7.
Right.
And as you work your way back, you're going to find not only all that comfortable seating and a chance to read a book or catch up with a friend, but the hot tub is back there as well. And that was definitely a favorite as people came on and off the ship, especially after their excursions.
Well, really, yeah, because you usually have 2 excursions a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon after lunch. And a lot of times people would come back from their morning excursion. It's not quite time for lunch, and they're just going to go into that spa and enjoy themselves. So,
That's
and they
right.
did.
And maybe take a drink with them and just really relax.
Absolutely.
But a hot tub's not for everybody, not to worry. Not on deck 7, but down on deck 4, also at the aft of the ship, is the pool.
Right.
And the pool was similarly sized. There was
Right.
room for several people to hop in there, whether they wanted to cool off or just catch up with friends at
Right.
the end of the morning or the end of the afternoon. And it was well used.
It was
enjoyed.
Yeah, people enjoyed that. Yeah.
That's right. Well, from deck 4, near the pool, we also see the stairway, which is how we came and went from the ship. From deck 4, when you found out what excursion and Zodiac you were going to be on, you would head down the stairs to deck 3 back to the marina there to get ready and to leave the ship. But that's also an opportunity to remind people that on the Flora, unlike on a lot of ships in the Galapagos, there is an elevator.
There is.
So it does kind of take that burden off of people who may not want to be doing the stairs constantly. Not that there are that many.
By the end of the day, you might want an elevator to come back up to your room. But other than that,
it is there.
It's there.
But we mostly use the stairs to access the back of the ship
Because you're only
and to
going,
exit.
you're usually going up a flight or down a flight, and the stairs are, pretty easy.
That's right. Now, also in terms of outdoor sections of the ship, When you go to deck 7 and you go way up to the front of the ship, there is another staircase.
Right.
And it goes to an open observatory, kind of a partial deck
Right.
for stargazing. And
Yes.
it is just a beautiful spot, especially at the end of the day, to watch the moon rising, to see what's
Right.
happening as the sun sets over these beautiful Galapagos Islands. And then, because there aren't the lights of big cities,
That's the important thing.
to
There is
enjoy
no
the
light
stars.
pollution out there whatsoever. So when you want to sit out there, whether you bring your camera or just bring a cocktail, that is a wonderful place to go and just enjoy the sky because there is no other lights out there.
it was great. Now, if you felt that maybe you needed a light jacket up there and you wanted to come inside, right below at the front of deck 7, there is an enclosed observation area.
Right.
And people use that as a spot also to sit quietly with music on or to read a book when they had a break in between excursions. There's some games up there. Another great meeting spot, kind of a quiet place, which
is.
was really nice. And you could get away from the hustle and bustle of the day if you wanted to do that.
Right.
So definitely check out the front of deck 7 and then upstairs on deck 8 for stargazing. Really a beautiful part of the ship, not to be missed.
Absolutely.
Now, the heart of the ship, being deck 3 with the marina at the back, also has some important inside space right in front of the marina. And that includes Darwin's Cove.
Right.
Darwin's Cove has some seating. It has a big screen and is showing some short videos and educational kind of vignettes to help get you oriented to what's happening with the history of the islands and the animals and the landscape you're going to see. There's also some reading material there, and the future cruise information is there because once you're on that ship, it does get you thinking about what you're going to book next.
What's the next one going to be? And guest relations is there.
That's
which is
right.
the same desk as the future cruise desk. And there's a little shop. You can pick up some things that you may have, maybe you forgot or you want to add to, and maybe get some ship paraphernalia. They got it there.
They do. And they also have a wet lab. The wet lab is quite unique, and it serves as the office for the naturalists and the cruise director. You're welcome in there at certain hours every day, and the naturalists are there with their heavy-duty microscopes ready to show you some of the things that you wouldn't just see with our own, regular kind of vision of this, of what's going on, like looking at the different kinds of rocks and the soil and sand that's found on the different islands. The Galapagos is not just one thing.
No.
It's such a variety. And
Each island is very, very different.
it was great to go in the lab and to get that expert insight from the naturalists right there on the ship in the wet lab.
And it's a really good opportunity if you had a question about what you saw this morning or this afternoon or yesterday, you can go in there and talk to them one-on-one. Those people are so great. They have so much knowledge about the island and the animals that are on the island and the whole environment. They're really great to talk to, and they're so personable to just go up and ask questions anytime.
They love to share.
Yeah.
Now, as we continue looking around inside the ship, we'll go up a little bit to deck 5. Deck 5 and deck 6 are predominantly the staterooms, and we'll cover that in a different video. But also on deck 5, you're going to find a fitness room, and it's outfitted reasonably for the number of people, no more than 100 ever, that are sailing on the ship.
Not like you didn't get enough exercise out on the island, but just in case you didn't, you can come into
And if you like a certain morning or evening workout, it's there for you. And right next door to the fitness area is the spa.
Now that would get more use, I think. Yeah.
Now, the spa was busy all the time, which is why we didn't get to film it. It was always in use when we were on the ship. And it was great for people to sort of work out the kinks a little or just pamper themselves.
That's
You're on a
right.
luxury ship. It's a great opportunity to be pampered a little bit, and people took best advantage of that.
Sure did.
So both of those facilities are available to everybody on deck 5. Now, from deck 5, we come down one deck to the other common space where we spent a lot of time when we were inside the ship. And that really has two parts to it. First, I would call it almost like the living room. It's the Discovery Lounge.
Yep.
The Discovery Lounge is large, well kind of outfitted in terms of seating. There are some high top tables. There are some individual chairs and couches and groupings. You can sit, in a lot of different places.
And most important, The bar.
The bar
The
is
bar's
there.
Yep.
And the bar was open a lot. It was open early in the morning, even before breakfast,
Right.
for that early coffee that somebody might be looking for, and maybe a cracker or a cookie to
Right.
go with it.
A couple of Danishes out there and
Right?
everything. So.
And then all throughout the day,
Right.
you could get hot chocolate, you could get mixed drinks and cocktails, whatever you might need.
Right.
The bartenders were there, and the crew was ready to help us out to have a relaxing
Get off the
day.
Zodiac, you come in, you grab a beer, you go back up to your room.
It was all there. Now the Discovery Lounge was also really important because that was the place we gathered every afternoon and early evening before dinner. There was always a drink of the day at the bar if you
Right.
wanted to come and have a pre-dinner drink with friends. And the naturalists and the cruise director spent a few minutes every day explaining the excursions and the activity options that you would have the following morning and afternoon,
Right.
which was great. It was all related to the weather, the tides, what was really happening. It wasn't a generic talk. It really gave you insight about what you
Right.
might want to do.
What island we're going to be at and what we can expect to see and not see.
That's right, whether you're going to have a dry landing or a wet landing.
Important to make note of that.
And
yes.
we'll come back to that again in another video when we talk about the islands. But all of that information was so helpful. And then from there, you would sign up
Right.
for that activity that you choose. And there were
Right.
always a couple of options for the morning and for the afternoon.
Right.
And from there, you head forward on same deck 4 to the inside restaurant.
Right.
And the restaurant was great. It was called the Seaside Restaurant.
Right.
It was, again, very, very nicely appointed. There was room around all of the tables. You could sit at 2 tops, 4s, 6s, and 8s. There was room for everybody to gather and mix and mingle.
That was another great opportunity to meet other people on the cruise and
Yes.
just, I'll sit over here at this table and, and it was really a lot of fun.
That's right. Now, there's a special section of the Seaside Restaurant that opens up in the morning and in the early afternoon for the breakfast and lunch servings,
lunches.
and it allows for a buffet setup.
Right.
It was really well done. The choices were quite varied, and the
amazing.
food was really tasty.
Really.
So when you were heading out on maybe a fairly early excursion, you didn't have to worry about the pace of breakfast. You
Right.
could go in when it opened at 7, and you could serve yourself. They did have some omelet stations and some things they
Right.
were doing to customize breakfast, but you could keep moving, and
Yep.
your day got off to a good and healthy start.
Right. And one thing about the food on all of the meals is that all of the food that you have on the Flora is all locally sourced. So so you're going to be introduced to some things that you might not have an opportunity to have on a different ship. But they're all the chef does an amazing job on taking those local ingredients and coming up with some really fantastic meals.
We enjoyed them.
Yep.
So we did have buffets for breakfast and lunch, or every day at lunch, you still had the option to go back up to deck 7 to that outside ocean grill.
Right.
And we did that almost pretty much every day.
Right.
And then when you came down for dinner, after the naturalist talked and the cruise director, and you've got your activity sign up for the next day, and you went to the Seaside Restaurant, then it was a plated dinner. So
Right.
you definitely had a lovely menu, great crew and staff, making you just feel as relaxed as you wanted to be. And then the Discovery Lounge was open again after dinner if you
Right.
wanted to gather, listen to a little bit of music, visit the bar again. It really was like the living room and the hub of the ship.
It was.
There
yeah.
was a piano player, and he was actually quite multifunctional as an
was.
entertainer. He played the guitar as well and,
Yep.
and did other things, but you had a little bit of opportunity for some of that
Right.
entertainment on the ship
You
as
wouldn't
well.
expect a small ship like this to have entertainment, but we did, and he was great.
He was wonderful.
Yeah.
We also had some celebrations, and the crew, along with the entertainer, came out and made sure people had a happy anniversary song or
Right.
happy birthday song.
Yep.
And they really just put a lot of personal touch on, whether you were coming back from an excursion and he was playing his flute
Right.
or some of these other instruments. There was something to make it just relaxing
Yeah.
and enjoyable all the time. And that was not the only entertainment. The entertainment, I'd say, capstone was the Friday night of our cruise, and there was a silent disco. And we see those on a lot of ocean-going ships. It's a
Yeah.
little different and maybe a little bit more engaging when there are just a small number of people
Well,
on the
especially
ship
when
with
the
you.
crew take part in it as well. The
And the
captain's out
captain
there,
and
and
everybody
so-
participated. We had a lot of fun. And as you can see, the headphones are all different colors. People
Right.
are kind of putting their groove on to many different kind of genres of music, and who knows how they all collide when they all end up being danced and sang to at the same time. It was really a lot of fun. So
Yep.
we'll take a look at that as well. And then, when the disco is over and dinner's done, the other thing is you just see some amazing sunsets. And the end to the day in the Celebrity Flora environment is just so peaceful, whether you're doing some viewing up on the decks or whether you're in your room in an infinite veranda or out on a balcony.
Right.
There are just some beautiful places to relax and wind up your day. And so the Celebrity Flora, from top to bottom and
Stem to stern
is a luxury ship that you don't want to miss. It takes the experience of the Galapagos up another few notches to another level of service, of quality, of comfort. And I don't know if I'd want to go any other way. I'm spoiled now.
I know, that's such a great thing, because the ship only holds 100 passengers
At most.
and for the week you really get to know everybody, so it's a lot of fun.
Right. So I definitely encourage you. And if you're interested in a cruise to the Galapagos, reach out to Next Wave Cruising. Our information is below in the description, and we'd be happy to help you, whether it's for you, your family, friends, or a group that you'd like to travel with. We understand the Galapagos. We know the ships really well. We work well with Celebrity, and we're here to make sure we can put together the right accommodations and package for you that will make your trip to the Galapagos a lifetime memory and the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And if you found something helpful in this video, we do hope you would give it a thumbs up. That really does help the YouTube algorithm share our videos with other people who love cruising and who might not have experienced the Galapagos yet either. So as people research, it's helpful to get this information out and share it. And if you haven't already, we invite you to subscribe, which is, for 2023, totally free.
Absolutely.
So while it's free to subscribe and turn on notifications, it also helps you to know every time we post a new episode to this channel. If you've subscribed already, thank you very much. You're helping our channel to grow, and we'll be back with more cruising adventures to share with you. But before we leave, we did do a stateroom tour of our luxury suite here on Celebrity Flora. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see it right now, and we'll meet you over there.
Bye now.